Because it seems like that's like,
But they've lacked pace of play for me.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
So,
But when Austin was out, who came up big?
Yeah, no,
John
no, no.
Tavares.
No
but
question.
you're right about, and back-to-back, those kind of players comes into play a little bit more, particularly the speed of the game nowadays.
yeah, and Willie has done a nice job of kind of keeping the bad games, far and few, like earlier in his career. But like I can't recall seeing him as bad as I saw him last night.
No,
he battled.
last night was brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal.
It was.
Well, back in the Mike Babcock
Yeah.
era, there was
There were a couple of shifts I thought I couldn't tell whether he was walking his dog or not. I mean,
He doesn't steal the boards. Puck goes. That's one of the ways the puck goes
Yeah.
in. I mean, he hasn't scored now in 7 games. His last goal was December 21st against the Islanders. Like they just, if you're, like I said earlier, if you're making the top goal scorer money, you kind of got to shoot it in the net a little bit more. But he'll get it back.
okay, so I'll ask you first, Gordon, then you, Sammy. How nervous were you when you saw that first goal go in on the Hildebeest last night? The 40-foot wrist shot, far post.
It's it's the curse of everything, whatever level of hockey you play, right? And it's like, okay, the Leafs seem to have their depth goaltending, the best it's been in forever. And we're looking at number 3 and number 4 guys, him and Matt Murray. So yes, that one you go, oh my God, don't tell me what's going to happen. And to their credit, the team helps the goaltender get out of a bit of a jam. But those kind of goals like you've had, see Charlie Lindgren and Washington's had a couple of those.
Yeah.
And again, in the one of them, the team helps them get out of jam. But yeah, I got to say, I'm not going to throw names out there, but the old era where the goaltenders weren't as skilled, Sammy, it conjured up memories of eye rolls.
You scream and pull him after that one?
It gave me
Forster's wrist shot?
It gave me Gustafson vibes. I'll name names. Gave me Jonas Gustafson vibes on that shot. That's the first thing I thought. But
he rebounded well, man. He battled.
I'll give him full
Yes,
credit.
yes.
I couldn't believe how good he looked after that because, he's in a competition here now. Like I don't know how long they're out with Stolars, but they tried Murray over him and Murray didn't look particularly good, as we all know. So they brought Hildeby back up and, he's in a competition to stay in the NHL and he lets in a stinker first 2 shifts of the game. You think it could hurt him and he responded well. So give him credit, but man.
That's another game where teams leave going, we got out goaltend.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Fedotov.
Yeah.
Like they're giving up at least one bad goal a game. And last night for the Flyers, same thing, just bad goals.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There, a big talk over the weekend because the Browns had a new quarterback and it was 40 quarterbacks since 1999 for the Cleveland Browns. Since Ron Hextall, how many goalies have the Flyers? The Flyers, they have had such weird goalie luck forever. Like, think about even when they went to the finals in that Mike Richards year.
They had 6 goalies, wasn't it?
And
5?
Well, it was Boucher got them in on that last day of the year. Then it was
Leighton was
Leighton.
there. Yeah.
Like they signed Brees Galloved all that money. They've let Bobrovsky go. Like Chuck Manick, Robert Ashe, like all these different guys that have played goalie for them. It's a really weird thing with them. They've never had a goalie.
So it's funny. They had Bernie Perrant was phenomenal. They had Pelle Lindbergh, who died tragically. Then they had Ron Hextall, who was phenomenal. And then their mistake, Sammy and Kippy, everyone assumed Curtis Joseph was going to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And when all those goaltenders were moving around and whatever, they jumped early and got John Van Beesbrook. And then Cujo came to Toronto. So that might have solved their goaltending woes back then. I'm glad Cujo came to Toronto. I think Cujo's glad he came to Toronto as far as things worked out. But you're right. They are sort of renowned for not having that real guy. I mean, Carter Hart.
Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see what happens. But for obvious reasons, looked like he could be that guy, but isn't right now.
Yeah, and also keep in mind too,
it's not as bad as the Browns, but still,
we had Keith Jones on about 4 weeks ago.
It was a while. Yeah,
it was a while ago, a month ago.
Yeah,
and he made it abundantly clear on our show. They are selling, and we have no thoughts about thinking about making moves to strengthen us just for the sake of trying to stay in the race.
He's got to tell the team they're not they're rebuilding. the message has not got to the Flyers. Last year they were in the
Well, that's
playoffs,
what you
70
want,
games.
though.
I don't know. It's great. You kidding
Right?
me? It's great. Like these teams that are supposed to, and then unfortunately the fans turn on them a bit with their expectations. You're going, no, these guys are doing
Do you
a
not-
very intelligent rebuild.
Do you not remember like the excitement for Mishkov at the beginning of the year and talking about how this guy's going to be the savior? And it's like I'm watching him last night and going, "Hey, I think he's got a chance to be a good player, but he's not. He's not going to build you a new arena like Eric Lindros did."
No. And the other, do you remember when Jack Hughes was taken first overall by the Devils? And then because they fly right away and they have those rookie, and then it was sold out, whatever the practice facility was, to watch Jack Hughes 3 days after the draft, or I don't know if they sold tickets, but it was full. And you go, he's turned into a really nice player, a star player. But at 18, he wasn't that guy then, nor the next year.
But he could always skate. And this,
I know.
This guy can't skate.
But the
not like that.
Oh no, but he still could be a hell of a player. I'm just saying, I don't gauge it year number one.
Yeah.
There's very few players that are going to build you a new arena. Because you're right, people don't realize Eric Lindros built that arena. Eric Lindros built that arena in Philadelphia. Like at the, they kind of forget that, or people forget that. But yeah, I know it's. Hey, the whole thing about getting too excited about that's when you're losing too much. And we did it back in my era. Too many and Michkov isn't underage, but too many underage players being rushed ahead of their time. And that's why I like Joe Wall, Matthew Nyes, and Bobby McMahon. Guys that earned their way on the Toronto Maple Leaf team. You didn't rush Easton Cowan. You didn't others, but that's a way when you're struggling, and that's a mistake too many teams make.
Yeah, it's funny, Mishkov. I don't think Chris Cuthbert called his name until he had the puck in overtime. He was barely involved at all. So, and Torts you guys talked about it a little bit on the broadcast with the way Torts is handling him, and he's trying to kind of help him with the rookie wall and all that stuff. Like, he seems to be doing a good job managing it. But yeah, you're right.
He's not sheltering him either in terms of the perception of this guy just being a great player. He's got a lot to learn away from the puck, and he's going to make him earn it.
So just to close off the Hildeby question before we go to break here. So he looked good enough here to get the next backup start. Like, did you see enough from him where you'd maybe try to sneak one in here in this week? Or is it wall this week?
I haven't really looked at the schedule.
Leafs all in on center hunt. Treliving's bold moves could shape Toronto's future. As a die-hard Toronto Maple Leaf supporter, it's hard not to get excited about the latest trade buzz surrounding the team. Brad Treliving, the Leafs general manager, appears poised to make some daring moves to strengthen the squad's depth down the middle. The whispers of significant trades are growing louder, and Elliot Friedman of Sportsnet has added fuel to the fire with his recent revelations. The situation has become even more pressing as the Leafs grapple with the ongoing upper body injury to team captain Austin Matthews. Matthews has already missed the last 4 games, and while the team is doing its best to stay afloat, the need for reinforcements at center is undeniable. Treliving, it seems, is ready to part with valuable assets to address this glaring need. The center's on Treliving's radar. Names like Jake Evans from the Montreal Canadiens, Brock Nelson from the New York Islanders, and the Philadelphia Flyers' Morgan Frost have been mentioned as potential targets. These players bring a mix of experience and skill, each offering something unique to the Leafs lineup. But, as Friedman highlighted during his appearance on the Fan 590's The Fan Hockey Show, the price tags for these players vary significantly. That's the number one thing he's, Treliving, been looking at all season, Friedman noted, emphasizing the GM's focus on finding the right fit at center. This isn't just about plugging a hole, it's about finding a player who can elevate the team to new heights. Priorities in focus. While some fans might argue that the Leafs need help on defense, Friedman suggested that Treliving's primary focus is elsewhere. They did a lot of their work in the off-season. I think now there's a question if they need to go find someone to play with Morgan Reilly, he explained. But, it's not their number one priority. I believe their number one thing all season has been, let's find another center. This clear focus on center depth speaks volumes about Treliving's strategy. The Leafs are willing to pay a hefty price, but there's a caveat: the player must come with term. Why term matters? The preference for term isn't just a strategic move, it's a sign that Treliving is thinking long-term. Rentals can be tempting, especially for a team looking to make a deep playoff run, but they often come with risks. One of the things I've heard is that if they're going to spend assets on a center, they would prefer it to be someone with term, Friedman revealed. This approach ensures that any trade made benefits the Leafs beyond the immediate future. Internal struggles and potential fits. Internally, the Leafs have tried to find solutions. Fraser Minton showed promise earlier this season, but the organization prefers to let him develop further with the Marlies. Meanwhile, the Leafs' current lineup has struggled to maintain its depth in Matthews' absence. One intriguing option could be Vincent Trocheck from the New York Rangers. With the Rangers facing their own challenges, could they be persuaded to part with a player like Trocheck, who already has chemistry with Leaf stars from last year's All-Star game? The road ahead. As the calendar flips to 2025, the trade deadline looms larger. Treliving's actions in the coming months will undoubtedly shape the Leafs' playoff aspirations and potentially their long-term future. For Leafs fans, the anticipation is palpable. Every move, every rumor, and every game feels like a piece of the puzzle. Treliving's willingness to swing for the fences shows a commitment to bringing a championship to Toronto, a dream that has eluded the franchise for far too long. Why this matters? This isn't just another season. This is a chance for the Leafs to solidify their identity as a contender. With Matthews expected to return and the possibility of a major trade to bolster the lineup, the team is poised to make a statement. Treliving's boldness, combined with the team's potential, makes it an exhilarating time to be a Leafs fan. Whether it's Evans, Nelson, Frost, or another unexpected addition, one thing is clear: the Leafs are in it to win it.
So, buckle up, Leafs Nation.
The journey ahead promises to be as thrilling as it is unpredictable. Treliving's moves could define the legacy of this team, and, hopefully, end the championship drought that has haunted Toronto for decades. The weight of expectations. The Leafs are no strangers to the pressure of the spotlight. Toronto is a hockey city, and the Maple Leafs are its beating heart. Every move made by management is scrutinized, every decision debated endlessly by fans and analysts alike. Treliving stepped into a challenging role when he took over as GM, and his willingness to take bold steps shows he understands the weight of these expectations. What makes this moment particularly critical is the team's current window of contention. With stars like Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander in their